All right. Hips and shoulders, including the neck. Hopefully, this just gives you energy down through the arms and the fingers, down through the legs and the toes. We're going to start in that supported fish, supported back bend. And you can choose how much of a back bend you want, how high or how low. I tend to go with the block under the shoulder blades on mama bear. So baby is the lowest, mama bear. And then for my neck, I like the block behind it one step up. We are going to be here for about 5 minutes. So if your blocks like mine are cork and harder, you might put a blanket over them or a pillow under your head, see how it feels. And then you can choose whatever leg position you want, but I'm going to suggest, since we're also going to work the hips and quite a bit of inner thighs today, that maybe you do soles of the feet together, knees open. And I've got the bolster going lengthwise under the thighs, but if you have pillows, you could put one pillow on each side. Just try to get something that feels relatively symmetrical in height and texture. And then all the other things. If you want a blanket to cover you or something for your eyes. And then ease your way back and set the timer. Sometimes I find I'm just ready to be completely still and need no movement to settle, but other times it feels the opposite. My energy needs a place to go. So if you're feeling like you need a little bit of movement to help you settle, you could try snow angeling the arms, straight arms or bent elbows. You can just kind of move the arms around or wiggle yourself back, trying to create a little more length in the spine and the neck. Or anything else intuitively that might feel good in this moment. And we'll take these opening minutes together, but quietly landing in this collective space, getting to inhabit your body a little more fully, peel back the layers of the day. Not necessarily searching, but just letting any information bubble up to the surface, just anything come to you. plenty of time to release the shape and eventually come all the way onto your back. I'm going to move through several reclining shapes. I'm going to talk you through those. So it's going to look different than what I'm suggesting, but take your time. As always, no reason to hurry to get there. But you will at some point arrive on your back, and you don't need anything underneath you unless you want a blanket under the head. We're going to approach tonight a little bit like we did last week. So a little bit more opening with yin shapes, still longer holds in the grand scheme of a yoga class, but not as long as our restorative shapes. And we're going to end with some rolling and a long shavasana. I want to make sure we work our way around the hips and around the shoulders tonight first. Okay, once you get on your back, you're going to windshield wiper the legs. So you'll walk the feet wide, knees wide. Just let those legs sway. Yeah, right to left. And if you'd enjoy, you can add the upper body. I like to reach the arms to the ceiling, grab opposite elbows. And then the arms move in the opposite direction of the legs. So you get a little bit of rotation for the spine, a little bit of twist. And then head gets to decide who it follows. It can follow the legs or it could follow the arms. And we're going to keep going another 10 breaths or so. So if you want to settle on one side, make it a longer stretch, or flowing continuously with your breath. And then even yourself up. And finding center, finding neutral. I'm seeing the puppy come across the screen constantly. All right, you're going to cross your right leg over your left. We're going to do reclining shoelace, so hip stretch next. So right leg over the left. And then you hug the legs in towards you, so thighs in towards the chest, and you can grab opposite shins, opposite ankles, or opposite feet with your hands. So you use the hands to passively pull the legs in. Feet are tied in that nice tight bounded knot. You'll continue to coax the thighs in towards you, and then there's a little bit of a feeling of the thighs and the shins moving away from one another. My hope is that you feel this somewhere across the back of the hip, maybe into the outer hip. You could try rocking a little side to side, see if that changes where you feel the stretch. And a few breaths here. Release the legs, feet to the ground. And then bring the arms out to the sides. If you have the space, take a few snow angels with the arms, either straight arms or you could bend the elbows, pull them down by the waist, just give the arms a little break. Sometimes as I do this, I like to wiggle the fingers, especially after holding onto the legs. You can wiggle the fingers around, that circulation moving. Good. And then as you're ready, you'll switch the legs. So left leg over the right. You'll bring the legs in towards you, thighs in towards you, and then take hold of wherever it makes sense. Not being overly aggressive with the stretch. Back of the body heavy, head, spine, pelvis, sinking into the floor. And do it. Again, your choice if you want to take a few of the snow angels, windshield wiper the arms. Yeah, you can go back to windshield wipering the legs too. A moment to reset. And then last shape on the back, you'll take a happy baby, or if it feels better, you'll just bring the knees into the chest and take the knees wider. So think about knees kind of towards armpits or shoulders. Or if you like a happy baby, you can grab the backs of the thighs, the calves, ankles, feet. If you want to rock a little bit. And let it go. Take some time for yourself. If you want to stay on your back and move, or stay on your back and just pause. Feel the residue of those collective opening shapes and priming the pump. We're going to stay with the inner thighs. You're going to come up and meet me in a seat. We're going to do malasana. So that's the squat with the feet out wide. And I'm going to suggest sitting on something. So supported malasana. So you could have a bolster, you could stack your blocks, do some combination of bolsters and blankets. Low enough that you do feel a stretch in the inner thighs, but not so low that it feels like work. I want you to feel like you're struggling to stay here. It might take a moment to figure out, what is that height? Every day is different. Yeah. And then if you want the assist of the arms, you can bring the palms together, not being aggressive, but you might bring the elbows just inside the inner thighs and give a little press out to the sides. We're going to take 2 minutes here. Selfishly, this is for me. I mean, this is also for your inner thighs, but really good for your pelvic floor when you're pregnant and you want your baby to come out. Okay, feel free to add anything, neck stretches. You can circle the wrists around if you want some wrist stretches. Maybe close the eyes, connect to the speed of your breathing. One more minute. Come off your perch, off your seat, to hands and knees. Bring a little bit of fluid movement to the hips and the spine, just in your own creative way. Be big loopy circles with the hips. The hips and the spine might move in figure eights. Could do some pelvic rocking. You can add child's pose or down dog, any kind of flow. Finishing up what you're doing so you do feel even if you're doing something that needs a second side. We're going to combine some hip and shoulder stretches, and you can either take Gomukhasana, so you did this on your back. You could do it seated, with the left leg over the right. Can't do that anymore. There's a human in the way. Or you can sit in sukhasana with the shins crossed, which is what I'm going to do with that left shin in front of the right. You might boost your buns up on the edge of a pillow or a blanket. We're going to do several things for the shoulders, the neck, and then we're going to fold forward for the hips. So you will be here for several minutes. So adjust accordingly. So either left leg on top or left leg in front. Okay, when you get there, drop your chin to your chest. Start with some head rolls and just go halfway. So just chin to chest, over to the shoulder. So not dipping back behind you. It's just a little bit too much for the neck. The next time left ear finds left shoulder, you're going to stay. This might be where you remain, or you can bring that left hand up to the side of the head, right arm out to the side. I like to play with the position of that right arm, moving it a little bit in front or behind me or higher or lower. Also been experimenting lately with palm up versus palm down. Release the arms, chin to chest. Lift your head. You might bobble it a little bit, side to side. And then you'll take the right arm up, pat yourself on the back. So tricep stretch. You could grab onto that elbow with the left hand, or if you like the full Gomukhasana, you can bring the arm behind the back if you have a preference between the two. But notice that you're not jutting the ribs forward. The head is pushing back into the arms. Think about lengthening up through that right elbow, up through the top of the head, and then descend down through the femurs, down through the hips. Good. Release your arms, swing them out wide, and then right arm under the left for eagle arms. Grab shoulders, backs of the hands or palms. You can stay in a sustained stretch, just holding the arms, or if you want to lift and lower the arms or add the spine, that little cat-cow like movement. Spine go. Side stretch over to the left. So left hand down, right arm overhead. Always options if you want to air guitar that top arm or go back into some neck stretching. You might roll the head up and down. Sometimes I like to take the hand behind the head and just press the head back into the hand. A little more opening for the chest, that armpit, bicep. Lifting yourself up and twisting to the left. So light with the hands. Lengthen out of your low back as you turn. And we'll transition into that forward bend. You'll let the twist go. We're going to take 3 minutes in the fold. So if you need a moment to stretch out the legs, you've been here for a little bit of time and then come back in, or you want to set up a little support in front of you, cushions to rest the arms, rest the head. Hammer. Don't be afraid to let the spine drape, starting with the head. You just let the head drop. And then feel that C curve travel down the spine. That contact point of the tailbone in the ground or tailbone in the cushion. And fill the back body with breath. Really releasing the shape. Like stretch the legs out or feet to the ground in front of you. Take a windshield wiper from here. But several breaths before we do that whole sequence on the other side. You can give a little massage or pound out to the legs. Hmm. All right, and then either right leg on top, shoelace, gomukhasana, or right leg in front for sukhasana, or just make sure you do the opposite of what you did. Hopefully you can tell. Sometimes I can't. I'm being very honest. Then when you get the legs set up, we'll do those neck stretches again. You'll drop the chin, rolling side to side. And at some point, you'll settle in with right ear towards right shoulder. Add the arms if that's helpful. Arms come down, chin to chest. You'll lift your head, maybe take that moment to toggle it right to left. Then this time, left arm goes up for the tricep stretch or your full Gomukhasana arms if you prefer. Right arm behind the back, or right hand can grab onto that left elbow. I think sometimes I'm mirroring you and sometimes I'm not. Hopefully, you know, I know I'm doing the right side for me. So left arm should be up, right hand grabbing on, or right arm behind you. Goodness. Wish I could claim pregnancy brain, but I think I did this before I was pregnant too. And then go up through that left elbow, down through the tail. Arms out wide. Left arm will be underneath for your eagle arms. Adding movement of the arms, movement of the spine. Feel free to do your own thing. Releasing the bind, side bending to the right. That left arm overhead, or move the arm, move the neck. Lift the spine first, and then easy twist to your right. Transitioning out of the twist and into your forward bend. You'll be here for 3 minutes. So if you need to adjust or take a quick break and then settle back into the legs. And find that curve from the head to the tail. And then there's another arc across the shoulder blades from right to left. Filling that full circumference of the back now with your breath. Soft and wide. Free the spine. A moment to stretch things out. And then we're going to segue into rolling the neck right into Shavasana. So think about what shape you want to close with, what you want under the legs, how much you want to cover you. We are going to start with the block and the balls under the neck. You can stay for the whole duration of Shavasana with the balls in place, or you might have a pillow close by to swap it out. So set up your props to support legs, support the back. And then you'll want a block and the ball's toted. And if you just have one ball, you still want the block. If you're using a foam roller, you don't need the block. The foam roller is a good option for this too. I think all of you have done this with me so many times. So if you don't have to wait for me. If you want to go ahead and get the neck rolling going, go for it. Ah, kind of forgotten what it feels like to move without a giant belly now. Okay, if you're moving with me, once you get the rest of the body set up, block is on the lowest setting under your head. Then you'll take those toted balls, lift your head, slide the balls right to the base of the skull. You're right at the base of that bone, which is your occipital bone. And those little dimples, those little grooves on right and left. And then drop the arms out to a position where you can feel the shoulders relax. I like to take the first few breaths just to try to release the weight of the head. I sometimes forget that I'm actually holding in my jaw and my neck and my shoulders. And can I let go just 5%? And you can always return to this still position. You could stay here the whole time or add any of those movements of the head, the nodding, shaking, circles, figure eights. I think you all know this, but if you're working with one ball, you have to be pivoted a little bit towards that side to keep the ball in place. We're going to take 2 more minutes. So if you are working with one ball, I'll give you a 1 minute marker, 1 minute heads up. If you have the double, just keep moving. Check in with both sides. One ball switch over. Double balls, little less than a minute to go. Start to consider if you want to stay here, keeping the balls in place for Shavasana, then you don't have to do anything. If you want to swap out a pillow, then go in stages. Take the balls out first, head to the block, pausing a few breaths. And then eventually you'll take the block out, head to the floor, take a few breaths, just let your neck acclimate. And then sliding in whatever support you want for the head, or if you need to add any extra layers for warmth. And settling in for the last few minutes of quiet practice, quiet space. Feeling the totality of the stretches, carving out time, marinating in that residue for the last few minutes. And I'll let you know when it's time to come up. soft in the body. Take a slow breath in, slow breath out. Welcoming a few more of those. You still have the balls in place, sliding them out, head to the block. Gradually removing the block, head to the ground. Any movement you want to start to introduce to the body. And if that doesn't sound appealing, then you'll just stay resting as you are. Those of you in motion, you'll make your way gradually up to a seat, choosing that closing gesture for yourself. Pausing a final moment just to feel first gratitude for yourself, making the choice to be here, choice to carve out rest for yourself on this Tuesday. And gratitude for this life that lets us be here together. Extending that gratitude to the group, those of us here together. And let that ripple out beyond to anyone or anything else that comes to mind. Closing with a slow breath in, a generous breath out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.